Evening, everybody. Gauri here. First time actually having my voice live on a video, so hi. Today I got a copy of the Dark Souls board game in the mail, and kind of surprised me actually because I completely forgot that I had kickstarted this about a year ago, and never got any updates on it. Turns out they were all filtered into my Gmail junk folder, so it was kind of a nice surprise coming home today, a particularly grueling day in terms of crazy emotional stuff, and seeing this box just hanging out on my doorstep, have no idea what it was, and opened it up in a nice surprise. So I figured I'd do my very first ever unboxing video for this. Uh, First of all, this box is gymongous. It's about 5.5 inches tall. Everybody say hello to Ivy. Hi, kitty. And it's about 5.5 inches tall and 12 inches wide and deep. So it is sizable. And you can see here, it's rather heavy. And it has, read off the list of what it says it contains here. It says it contains 27 highly detailed plastic miniatures. And the girls are just starting to get interested in role playing games and looking at the possibility of possibly painting figures for the first time. So that could be kind of cool. 9 double-sided game board tiles. So my understanding is that this game is modular, sort of an amalgam of like a roguelike dungeon crawler game and the old Hero Quest board game. It's kind of my understanding of it. It says it has 4 player boards, which I'm assuming are the boards that allow you to keep track of your character's stats and inventory and whatnot. 64 health and stamina cubes, which again I'm assuming just help you track your health and your stamina and other measurables within the game. 15 dice, which pretty self-explanatory there. 121 tokens, again probably for measuring various things. 252 cards. I'm assuming that there is a randomized or roguelike nature to this game that's driven by these cards. I'm not quite sure what the cards are all about. 8 tracker dials, again, probably for measuring various things, and 1 rule book. And if the board game is anything like the video game, I'm guessing that that rule book probably makes up most of the weight of this box. So, figure we'll go ahead and we'll pop this guy open and kind of see what it's made of. And I lost my scissors, but that's okay. I can just tear into this thing with my hands, I guess. Alright. Very tight fit box. There we go. Whoa. So, right off the bat, you died. Yeah, can expect to see that a lot. Interesting. The nice little box here. Looks like it contains all the cubes. Oh, and there's some of the figures. Wow. So, I'm guessing these are the bosses or mini bosses. These guys are huge. So, this guy is pretty big. I do not have a small hand, so by comparison, yeah, sizable figure. These are, looks like his hammer came just a little bit bent, but that's all right. This is a very heavy figure here, so I'm not horribly surprised that his hammer came bent. And let's see, we'll get a quick size comparison here. This guy measures about 3 inches in height. And from the edge of his hammer to the edge of the base is roughly 5 inches, give or take a little bit. Comparing that to our good buddy here, who from tip of the tail out to his head is about 5 inches as well. Hi, Ivy. Everybody say hi to the cat. Not quite 3.5 inches wide here. Let's go to the wingtips, closer to 4 inches. These figures are huge. So, and they do have a lot of ornate details. So that's going to be a lot of fun to mess with, and possibly even look at the possibility of painting. We also have, I'm guessing these are the health and stamina cubes that were mentioned. These are, let's look at these here. They look like they might be wood pieces. Yeah, these are wood, like little wood cubes. So these are kind of cool. And Cat wants to play with it. I'll get this out of the way. Here's our cards. They have, see a lot of the fun British background here. And the bag is resealable, which is nice. So you can just put the cards back in the tray, put the tray back in the resealable bag, put the bag back in. So right off the bat, I noticed we have some item cards. Looks like these are, might be from various weapons. Claymore, Santir Spear, Ghostly Keep, so I'm not sure if these are locations. Leaping Frost, I'm guessing that that is a creature. And it looks like there is a crosshair pad that mirrors the PlayStation cross pad, the PlayStation directional pad. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I'm sure the rulebook will reveal all eventually. So I'm going to put these back in their lovely little case, and I'll get my measuring tape out of the way. I like that these come in a resealable bag. The bag doesn't feel like it'd be too durable. It's pretty... Whoops, I'm dropping stuff. The bag seems like it would be pretty flimsy. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to remove and replace this tray before this bag gives way. So, whatever the case, it's lasting for this unboxing, which is nice. So those can go back there. We have another nice little box here. Let's see what's in here. I'm guessing these are the lesser enemies in the player character figures. Yep. Here's our dice as well. So we got a few of the big knights here. And these guys are pretty badass looking. Not nearly as big as the mini boss figures. Looks like we have a few archers. Got a couple of these guys. Now, in my looking at the emails that came out, yep, here's our undead guys, our whites. In looking at the emails that came out, it appears that there might actually be expansions to this that add additional bosses and additional playable tiles. I'm guessing these brown ones are our characters, our player characters. Looks like we have 4 of them here. And it is a 1 to 4 player game, so I'm guessing there's just the 4 character archetypes. I'm guessing some kind of rogue, some kind of caster, just because that's kind of the way Dark Souls is made and organized. I almost feel like we are missing a crossbowman, but I'll look into that later. It looks like there should be a guy that goes here, and I don't see him, which we'll figure it out. Oh, there he is. I'm just blind, that's all. He just kind of came out of his thing. So we got our player characters, we got more knights, So we got the big guys there. Those guys were always fun to fight in the game. And here's the rule book. Surprisingly small. I was expecting a much, much larger rule book. So this is actually not as... Looks like it might not be as in-depth as I thought it was initially. Looks like we have various encounter cards. So my thought that this was going to end up being a roguelike type of game is kind of confirmed. And it looks like it's set up in stages, where the first goal is to find and defeat the mini-boss, and then the second step based on that is to find and defeat the main boss. Bonfire tile. If you've played the Dark Souls games, you know that the bonfires are super important. When you die, you go back to the bonfire and have to return to your point of death so that you can retrieve your basically all of your experience and currency that's gone unspent. Your souls, if you will. So I'm guessing that the bonfire tile in this game has similar importance. I remember looking at a very early video that they had linked on their Kickstarter page when I first kickstarted this. And there was a lot of talk of dry erase markers and make sure that you have your cards in plastic sleeves. And looks like they may have eschewed that in favor of the stamina cubes that we were looking at earlier. So if they did, that's nice, just because I will eventually be playing this with my kids, and I know my kids, and they will mark all over the cards and ruin them, and that'll be that. So instruction manual doesn't seem to be as in-depth as I initially thought. Looked like about 39 pages, but a lot of that is description of the parts and setup, so it doesn't seem like it's actually going to be as bad as all that. And the game board tiles, these are ginormous. So here's some of our game board tiles, and it said it's reversible, so looks like on the back side we have a lot of circles here, which I'm guessing are movement points or enemy starting points. And the cat's doing bad things. So, looks like we have a possible throne room or a raised area. Here's our bonfire tile. Somebody resting at the tile here. Somebody resting at the bonfire. Looks like a reverse bonfire tile as well. So I'm guessing that's a starting point. I'm not certain. Ever-present bridge area, and then the giant rug tile. Another raised area. Okay, and here's our... looks like these are our counters here. And then we have a bunch of different... cool. So we have a... Oh, I'm punching them out already, apparently. Bunch of different tokens and a bunch of different trackers here. They punch out really, really easy, but the cardboard is really heavy duty. It's very difficult to bend this. I don't see these bending easily, but the tokens seem like they are easy to remove from the punch board, so that's good. I like the artwork on these. It's really, really nifty looking. Really in tune with the game. So I like that. It's like the backside of a token board. Okay, so here's one of our character cards. We have our warrior here, and it looks like you can punch out a bunch of different parts of it. Here we have our herald. I'm guessing is almost like a cleric. I never played the herald class in the game, so I'm not certain. And it looks like each of the character sheets have a few other tokens attached to it. There's our assassin, because of course. And then last but not least, at the very bottom, because my clumsy, numb hands can't get it out of there, we have our knight. So, classes can kind of mirror the game, kind of like I thought they would. And given that it is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game, I can easily see how having all the players involved would complement each other. I guess one of the expansions from what I was reading earlier in the update emails that I had so sorely missed, they actually are going to release an expansion that has invaders. So that aspect of the game will continue to remain true to the original PC and console game as well. So that is the entirety of the component box of the Dark Souls board game. This has actually been kind of a cool thing to videotape an unboxing. First time ever doing this. And despite the cats and Lina walking around trying to stop the cats from doing bad things, I think it actually turned out pretty well. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.